There is no day like opening day, and that is actually tonight out at Olson Field at Bluebell Park. Texas A&M starts their season against the Hofstra Pride, and this edition of Studio 12 extensive about talk on the diamond. Will Johnson and Matt Simon with you, and we've welcomed in a couple of players who will be out there tonight. Catcher Michael Barash, pitcher Kyle Simonds. They'll make up the battery in the opening. Kyle Simonds gets the Friday start this weekend. Gentlemen, I'm sure when you wake up on opening day, it's got a little bit of different feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's nothing like it. It's Christmas morning for us, and it's what we worked for is to get back to today. And today's the most important day. It starts the year. This is how we're going to set the tone for the rest of the season is tonight, and we can't wait to get after it.
And Kyle, knowing the ball's in your hand to get it all started, that got to be a little amped up at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. The adrenaline will be going, once you start warming up. And I've had a lot of people ask me, are you nervous yet? And, it hasn't really sank in until today. And so I know the crowd's going to be behind me and all, the whole team.
Yeah, before we go on, I did want to ask you about that. I mean, you guys have played plenty of baseball in your lives, and you've played here at A&M already in regionals, super regionals, at Bluebell Park with big crowds. Those minutes before first pitch, do nerves still play into it for you guys, knowing that when the game actually starts, they'll probably wash away and it's just business at hand? But do nerves still exist with players like yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you're not nervous, then why are you playing? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Tonight's like it's the best night. Obviously today's the most important day. But that once that first pitch happens, once you get that first pitch out of the way, game on. You know what I mean? It's that first pitch that everyone's all amped up for, and once that first pitch happens, it's just another baseball game.
Same with you, Kyle.
Yeah, no doubt. As that first pitch, everybody's clapping, ready to go, and you hope it's a strike, and then from then on, you're in the fight and you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. This is 2 times in a month for these guys, Will, on the show.
That's
if
true.
Kyle comes out, dominates tonight, he's probably going to be like, guys, I need to be on next week. Make this work.
Yeah.
The superstitions kick in.
There'll be a guest on this show that actually wanted to appear
For the first time.
Didn't have to schedule it for somebody, but Hofstra comes to town to get this all started. 6:35 tonight. The Aggies and the Pride 3-game set tonight, Saturday and Sunday as well. And you guys, I mean, the schedule this year I think is terrific because after Hofstra, you guys are going to take a road trip out to California. Now Malibu, some think of it as paradise, but I mean it could be rugged out there. I mean you're going to face a Pepperdine team. It's pretty good. Fresno State will come in later, and they have a chance to do something in the Mountain West Conference. Everybody's looking at that non-conference game on March 15th against the Texas Longhorns. But, Kyle, you guys have a schedule laid out in front of you before you even hit the Southeastern Conference.
Right, yeah, it's going to be a challenge, starting with this first game tonight. But we're looking forward to going to Malibu and playing Pepperdine. That's going to be a really good West Coast team. And, like you said, Fresno State coming into town and then Texas. And so, it kind of builds up to the strength of the SEC, and it's going to be good for us to play these good teams.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, what does it mean to you for Coach to know that Coach gives you the ball on opening night? And it's just the first weekend, we get that, but to all the work you've put in to take that ball be the first one to take that ball. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is just leadership that I bring to the table and for these guys, and being a senior and having some experience and, rolling me out on Friday night, he shows a lot of confidence in me to get the job done, and I know the guys are going to do the same behind me.
And, Michael, for you, you're really a defensive leader from behind the plate there. And you think about if you go around the infield tonight, I mean, you could see a Hunter Melton at first base, Ryan Burke at second, and a Boomer White at third. Now, that's experience there. They'll be around Kyle. They'll be out there for you guys. Shortstop is where you don't have the experience. Could see George Yoncha, could see Alan Campero, and Austin Holman's a candidate always. But whoever that shortstop is tonight, when you see the lineup card, as a defensive leader, do you maybe you have to chat them up a little more, knowing they're whoever it is probably playing their first college game tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whoever's there is going to do a great job for us. They're all equally prepared. They're all ready to go. We're fortunate enough that they're surrounded by experience. They have Boomer at third. They're going to have Burke at second, and then Melton at first. That's a lot of years of experience playing competitive college baseball. So they're going to be in constant communication. That's what we strive ourselves off of, is having constant communication and being great at the routine. We're going to take care of the baseball. We're going to catch it, throw strikes, hit it. I mean, just as simple as that. But whoever's at shortstop for us tonight is going to do a great job job for us and get Kyle out of some innings.
And you guys were all young players too yourselves. I mean, to have experience behind you or around you or whatever the case may be, Michael, when you took the field for the first time, I mean, it really lets you relax, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think I talked to Mitchell now. He's a guy I look up to, and he just told me, hey, man, it's baseball. Just go play. I mean, you're here for a reason. Take all the stands out of it. Still 90 feet to first base. Still 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's mound to home plate. And it's just baseball. Just keep it simple and just enjoy it. It's going to be a great ride. We're all committed to each other, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Michael Barash, Kyle Simonds joining us on this edition of Studio 12. It's opening night at Bluebell Park this evening. Texas A&M takes on the Hofstra Pride. Kyle Simonds will have the ball in his hand. And, Kyle, if I ask you, just your success hinges on what tonight when you think of getting out on that hill? Like, I've got to do this to make it a good night for me.
Yeah, I think just stick to my mechanics, stick to my routine, and just do what I do, on keeping the ball down, getting ground balls, working the ball both ways, with the slider and changeup. And I think, that if they're going to beat me, they're going to beat me with my stuff, and I'm not going to have to change too much to what they bring to the table. Mm-hmm. And so Michael's going to be great to have behind the plate. We kind of seem to have this little connection, and he gets me a lot of strikes on the edge.
Mm-hmm. How much – will you call the game tonight, Michael, or is it Coach Childress?
Coach Childress will call the game.
Sometimes it can work in different ways, can't it?
Right. Kyle always has the power to shake Coach Childress. But Coach Childress has a scouting report. He has it right in front of his face, and he does a great job. He's the best in the country at calling pitches. It's tough. It's tough for our opposing hitters to hit our pitching staff with the pitches that are being thrown. But Coach Childress does a great job at that, and Kyle rarely. I know catching Kyle the past year, he rarely shakes anyway. He's confident whatever is going to get put down, he's going to throw it with conviction, and he's going to do a great job for us tonight.
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say there's always so many subplots in a baseball game, but to me that's like the game within the game. To me that I like the most is that chess match, with the hitter and the pitcher, trying to maybe outthink or maybe not think too much. That's got to be a lot of fun for you to because you know what's coming. Obviously, you know what you're throwing. Kind of see if strategically how it works out. It's got to be fun.
Yeah, we have a scouting report on each hitter, what their tendencies are and whatnot, and so we kind of have an idea of what we're going to throw and kind of what sequence we're going to throw them, in or out, off speed, and so you're playing a mind game with the hitter, thinking, hey, he's thinking a fastball here, so let's mix it up, or vice versa, and so you are playing a mind game. You kind of do different things to try to mess them up, if they're looking to steal a pitch or something. So. But it is, and it's just a lot of confidence in Mike and Coach Childress in calling the pitches.
And I think something always interesting about an opener, say you get into SEC play, you might get into facing guys you went against in the past. You know a little more about them. I wouldn't think the first few guys that step up for Hofstra are guys that you know a ton about. I mean, is maybe the beginning of the game for both of you as the battery, Kyle pitching, you catching, Michael. I mean, is it just do your stuff, throw your stuff, we'll get through the order one time and maybe figure some things out at that point?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of information on their hitters anyway, just having contact from coaches throughout the country about them. And our coaching staff has done a great job going out and seeking that information. But for the most part, Kyle's going to pitch to his strengths. I mean, we're not going to steer away from that. We're going to pitch to what Kyle's strength is, what he's good at. If we get away from that, then Kyle's going to be uncomfortable. We never want our pitcher to be uncomfortable. So we're going to put him in the best position possible to be successful, and we're going to play great defense behind him. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to make the routine for him and help him get off the field whenever he needs to.
Mm-hmm. I find this interesting, Kyle, when it comes to this team. One of the storylines to me is what Coach Childress is going to do on the back end this year. You take Ryan Hendricks and Mark Ecker, and I don't know if I've ever heard of co-closers before, but it's kind of like that's how it works. And I did talk to Coach Childress before the season. He did say this is something that's never happened to me. Probably not going to happen again when you have those two guys on the back end that are that good. As a starter, do you just feel more comfortable knowing that a Hendricks and an Ecker are awaiting at some point late in the game?
No doubt. I mean, if you're cruising and your pitch count is up, and hey, he comes out to give you take the ball from you and turn it over. It's like anybody in that pen can do a great job, and especially like you said, Hendricks and Ecker who throw gas. They're going to get the job done. And so as a starting pitcher, you go back to the dugout, you're relieved. You're got a good feeling about who's coming up after you, and they've done a great job all fall and this spring already of throwing strikes and getting guys out.
But in general, I hear pitchers don't like getting the ball taken from them.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you go out there, you want the complete game.
Yeah,
I mean,
if we can stay out there, we're going to stay out there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's coach's decision. But
but
yeah,
obviously, opening night isn't the most prone for a complete game from a guy throwing.
And then piggybacking off of that, it shortens the game. I mean, Kyle can go 6, and then we go 7, 8, 9, game over.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the way our bullpen has to be. It's just to shut down guys that are at the back of the bullpen that can get us off the field and send the Aggies home happy.
Well, the Friday edition of Studio 12, Matt and Will with you here from the south end zone of Kyle Field. It's opening night. Favorite night of the year, Will. Favorite night. Opening night. Love it. Love it.
I mean, you talk about the day you start conference play, the day you start an NCAA tournament, regional, super regional, or your first game at Omaha. I don't even know if those match the adrenaline of tonight because you hadn't done it so long. I mean, if you go to all these other things I just mentioned, you've already been in the game and playing. I mean, it's been a long wait to get here, hasn't it, guys? Opening night.
Definitely. I know personally, not playing this summer, I didn't really do any competitive, baseball activity. I just stayed here and worked out. So I still have a sour taste in my mouth from what happened. And, once that first pitch happens, it's gone. 2016 is underway. You know what I mean? Before that game, Kyle's in his delivery. It's gone. It's game on. And there's seriously nothing like opening day. And I know the crowd's going to be incredible. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere here. And, we can't wait to get after it.
Yeah. Kyle, I wanted to ask you just kind of on a personal note. Do you remember first time you picked up a baseball, or were you too young to recall that? Like, what got you into the game? When do you first remember you really kind of focusing in on the sport?
And how hard did you throw?
might have been coach pitch back then, but I remember at 4 years old, that's when I started learning the game and started following what some of my friends were doing and playing t-ball, I think, in the backyard or whatever it was. But from then on, it was just something that you love, and it's kind of a family game for us, and so I've always enjoyed it.
And growing up in Nebraska, was there always an affinity for that event over in Omaha each year? Did you make it over there a lot growing up? Or have you ever been to Rosenblatt or now TD Ameritrade Park?
Yep. I remember going to Rosenblatt when Nebraska played in 2005, I believe.
We know some people affiliated
with that
Will
team. Bolt. And
Shout out to Coach Bolt.
Justin Seeley.
And so
Rob Childress.
Rob Childress coaching.
Yep. And so I remember going, with my family there to Rosenblatt, and from then I went every year. And it's just kind of a tradition that we had. And, we'd get all our buddies together and go to Rosenblatt and see a game, and then it moved to TD. And, it was kind of a, good thing to move it to TD. It needed it, but there was nothing like Rosenblatt, and just a lot of history there. And so going to Omaha, it was always a dream to be there and play there. And, here we are getting a chance to play for a national championship.
Yeah. And Michael, as a Floridian, I mean, I wonder if your time as a youth, I mean, did you follow the Hurricanes, the Seminoles, the Gators? Is that what it was about for you growing up athletically?
Yeah, definitely. I started playing, as soon as I could hold a bat, my mom had a tee, like I don't know, I forget, Fisher Price or something, and I was just hitting it off the tee, chasing it, running it back, chasing it,
That big old fat red bat.
Yeah, the thing that we would never use now, but
which hurt more than you think.
Yeah. But ever since then, I mean, it's awesome. And I grew up a Miami fan. My uncle went there, my grandpa went there. I loved the Hurricanes, and then, once college started, I just started getting after it. The dream is to get to Omaha. Jealous that Kyle got to go every year as a kid. But, I watched the College World Series every summer. I mean, took time out of your day to watch it. And it's a special place. It's a lot of fun.
Michael Barash, Kyle Simonds joining us on this edition of Studio 12. It's opening day, A&M and Hofstra tonight. Kyle on the mound, Michael behind the plate. And I think about the atmosphere at Bluebell Park. It's always just been terrific. You'd put it as one of the top 5 in the country. Well, we saw some additions last year. You had the bubbles, the whammy machine. I think you had the dugout fires going. We always have to give a disclaimer when we say that. Like, nobody set a fire in the dugout. There would be code violations involved in that. But
hey, if that's what it takes.
Yeah. I mean hey. When you think about anything maybe new happening with the team down there, do you stick with the routine last year? Because it worked. You got 50 wins, but as the season progressed, do you always try to come up with new things as far as dugout hijinks and stuff like that?
I think it's just year to year you come up with new things, that work, and all that stuff last year was all new. It's just kind of something that gets brought about as you're playing games, different antics and superstitions and whatnot. And so we just kind of pick it up as we go. And, last year we had that dugout fire, and who knows where that came from, but we just started it up and away it went. And
no
so,
committee meetings to plan
No,
this out.
It's funny, the dugout fire, I think it was Coach Seeley and I. We're sitting there, we didn't have a hit for like 6 innings against, I think, maybe UT Pan Am, and we just started a fire, and it just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And
trash.
Trash, bats, fungus.
For those
tape.
that actually didn't see it, the fire is more of just a trash pile
Yeah.
with bats around
With
it.
bats
Exactly.
and TP.
And I think, when we think of the weekend rotation after Kyle, you got Corbin Martin on Saturday, and I think he was at least helpful in the whammy machine and the bubbles and things like that. And I hear Corbin, I don't know if you call him a team clown, but he's pushing for that title in some ways, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really good at separating his craft. I mean, when he goes to work, he's going to work. He pulls his hat down and he gets after it. But whenever he's not pitching, he's the life of the dugout. He's keeping people on their toes. And love that kid to death. He's awesome, and I know he's got whammy ready to roll for tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get. I mean, we need 40 runs this weekend just to
bubble it up.
Yeah.
But see, like that to me is another fun thing about the sport is you need that. You need that. I mean, you're playing at least 56 games 5 times a week. It's such a, you got to kind of not too high, not too low, but that goofiness that's a big deal to really kind of keep everybody sane more than anything.
Definitely. I think you have to. I mean, it is a long season, and the more fun you have, the easier it goes by. I mean, if we're all robotic and not playing loose, not having fun, then, why are you playing? You play to have fun. You play to win. You play to have fun. And, we got to stay loose. I mean, Aggie baseball is playing hard, playing fast, and then you see guys in the dugout with Cheez-It boxes on their head or Rice Krispies like Kyle. So.
Did how key did the Thomas Dick rally hair? How key was that last year to the success of the team to get you all the way to the Super Regionals?
I think he had some serious flow. I liked it. I like it now, though. I like how he shaved it off.
It's down
cancer
short there,
research.
that's for sure.
I like it a lot.
Now, you guys had the leadoff event last week where everybody shaved the head in support of cancer research, and I mean, I always wonder if there's a guy that's going to be left out sometimes because they just got that mane that they like and they just can't let go of it. But everybody participated this year. Is that correct?
Everybody did.
Yeah. Coach Childress did too.
Yeah.
I know he did.
There's some guys with pretty long hair, and obviously they don't want to cut it, but you see everybody else doing it, and you can't be the guy left out. And so they bought into it, and everybody else did, and it was a good event. Great to have, there to kick off the season.
And I mean, it is a great event, like you mentioned, and it's kind of also a chance for fans got a little meet and greet with you guys too. So I mean, to connect with them before the season starts, always a good thing, because when you go to Bluebell Park, I've talked a little bit about the atmosphere, but we kind of mentioned the dugout stuff. But in those grandstands around you, I mean, can you be more appreciative of what this community does in support of Texas A&M baseball at that stadium? And you're going to see it electric tonight against Hofstra.
Yeah, no, I think it was clear when they came out to the Fan Fest just last weekend, and they rally around you. They can't wait, for Friday. And we were at the basketball game just the other night signing autographs, and everybody came up and said, we'll see you Friday. We can't wait. Season tickets are already here. And so they're around you, and then you see it. They're piling in on Friday night, and they're all getting ready to go. And you can just tell baseball season is in the air, and they love it. And we couldn't be more appreciative for them to come out every night.
Yeah. Now I do want to know, Kyle, how would you handle it if you threw 4 straight pitches out of the zone and the ball 5 chant rained down on you like it does opposing pitchers? I mean, that's one of the best things they do, I think. And if I'm a pitcher for any other team, that's hurting my feelings. That's just running at me the whole time.
That'd be all you're thinking about is throwing, another ball.
I could see some aiming going on after that.
Yeah.
Not throwing aiming. But.
No, it'd probably be just floated in there, try to get a strike.
But
off the field, I wanted to ask you guys. Y'all are roommates, correct?
We are. Second year.
Just you two, or is there are there any other?
We have 3. We have 3 or 4 people in the household.
4 people.
Kyle and I, G.R. Hinesley, and then Ronnie Gideon.
Oh, that's
Ronnie
impressive.
Gideon.
Who is the messiest of the bunch in the four? They're laughing.
I'm sorry, GR, but GR.
I'm gonna say GR.
Leaves the stuff out. What do y'all do to kind
When you
of?
order in, do you have to order extra for Ronnie?
No, he's done a great job.
I know.
He's done a great job. We're proud of him.
No, yeah. Well, he and Hunter, I think, have dropped some weight.
They
Or
have.
Melton,
Yeah,
haven't they?
they've done a
and
great
that could
job.
correlate into some big things for them this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
can't wait to see what they do for us this year.
And that was kind of like Mitchell now last year, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, he had dropped some weight, and he had a phenomenal season a year ago. So.
To say the least, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I look around. I mean, we talked about the lineup defensively. One thing I wanted to ask you about, guys, we didn't talk about the outfield. And Nick Banks was a staple in center, but then you go right and left, and you could get a situation where you got some guys as far as matchups are concerned. I mean, you could see some rotation in the corner outfielders due to who's pitching for the opponent, I think.
Yeah, there's an abundance of outfielders here, and they're all just equally as talented, and they're great competitors. And whoever we put out there, seriously, is going to do a great job. It's just like the shortstop position.
Yeah.
Whoever we put out there is going to do an outstanding job. They're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to play fearless, and they're just going to have a lot of fun, And whoever is out there is going to be great and do great for us.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing for Kyle before we let y'all go. I may have asked you this last time you were on. You guys got to hit this week, pitchers.
No, we haven't.
Is that will that happen before the game, or is that depending on shutouts or complete games this weekend?
That'll be depending on a shutout. And I think they usually do that the week after. So if you throw a shutout, on the weekend, you'll next Wednesday or Thursday in practice is when we get to hit. And
He's got a smile on his face. Well, I think
Well,
he's looking forward to
it
the
could happen,
opportunity.
depending on the weekend. It could happen the Thursday night before the Pepperdine series, and
yeah,
they'll have pitchers trying to put the ball in the Pacific Ocean out there.
Yeah,
which would be awesome.
Yeah,
It'd be ideal for us.
splash ball. It's like over there.
You guys-
with the Giants.
I think you guys are going to get stuck with Will Johnson on that trip
Yeah.
out to Malibu.
I'm gonna
So
have to head
if you
out there
could get
with
him
you
to pick up a
guys.
bat, and if we can get video of this, I
Anybody-
would love that.
You got to talk
Anybody's
to the
welcome.
guys, yeah.
Picture, yeah.
Maybe TD will take
Man,
If
Managers,
Thomas
it.
Dick will do it, I'll do it.
I don't know
We'll
if
get
Thomas
you
will
guys in
pick
there.
up. Thomas will shoot video
I'll pack
of you.
my glove.
Thomas will shoot video of you swinging a bat.
There was a time I could do it, but the ounce of athletic
Oh.
ability I once had has left the body about 5-6 years ago. So
It's like riding a bike.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
true.
That's
I
right.
like that.
Baseball was the one sport I could do in high school, so maybe I'll pick it back up. I
I
don't
like
know.
it. Well, guys, we appreciate the time and have a blast tonight. I know that's one of the reasons you play the game is to have fun, and I think not many more fun nights than opening night.
Yep,
doubt.
appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Yep, thank
Thanks,
you.
fellas. Good luck tonight.